broadcasters. Welcome to episode 125 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a fun week for anyone new here. Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. And we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with you guys, go through the same flow you do every single week or month or however often you go live. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to it. Then we always make sure we mention our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See lots of people hanging out in the chat tonight. Nice to see all of you here. I think I saw that it was Tangerine's birthday, hanging out in the day spa. Happy birthday, Tangerine. Nice to have you here.
Happy birthday. That's exciting.
And Kaushik Blog says, I conducted a live stream using StreamYard yesterday, but my system audio was not included. Only my microphone audio was included. How to add system audio? So Kaushik, in the studio, in the settings for cam and mic, you can select your audio source. If you want to include both your microphone and system audio, you'll likely have to use something like a virtual audio cable or perhaps like an audio mixer. So we have some information about that. If you just go to streamyard.com/contact and type in the chat, you'll find some help docs on those subjects. Charles Matthews says, looking for Canadian streamers. Who's out there? Dan and I are both Canadians, so hopefully
both Canadians here.
One thing we wanted to start off tonight, we'd be curious if let us know after we'll do it anyways as a test, but let us know if you guys enjoy it or not. But we thought we'd start off with a fun fact about ourselves. So the first one we were going to ask is jobs before StreamYard. So do you want to kick it off, Dan? What was a job you had before working at StreamYard?
Cool. Yeah. So like Dave was saying, I think it'd be fun if we just share a bit more info about ourselves personally. So yeah, for the first attempt at this, figured we'd just say what were our jobs before we actually joined StreamYard for Geige and I. So one job for me before joining StreamYard was actually as a mechanical engineer building security cameras, which is obviously very different than StreamYard, but super, super interesting job. And one of the things I was specifically doing, because with security cameras, you have to prevent them from getting broken by, anything like weather, physical abuse, anything like that. So I'd be building tools to actually test out these security cameras, for example, like smashing it with different types of weights, very calculated ways, but essentially smashing these security cameras to see, to make sure they can withstand somebody hitting it with a baseball bat, which is a fascinating job, or submerging it underwater for weeks at a time to make sure it could withstand the weather. Yeah, it's cool. It was a lot of fun, honestly. It's a cool job, but quite different than StreamYard. How about you?
Definitely a bit different. So the last job I had before StreamYard was it's kind of funny. So I was actually helping to design and work on a wildlife detection system in northern BC, Canada, for detecting moose walking across a highway section where there was a lot of collisions with moose. So very Canadian job, but I was working on those radar stations. But yeah, it was fun. So
it's a very real problem in Canada.
Yeah, it was
certain parts of Canada.
Yeah, it was not totally funny. It was dangerous. People would hit the moose. But yeah, the job itself kind of funny. So before I forget, all the StreamYard shows. There's StreamYard Spotlight Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to check that out. It's a show featuring you guys and how you're having success with live streaming and to learn more about your shows. Dana and Kelsey host that at 8 p.m. Eastern. We've got the live stream reviews Saturdays at noon Eastern, and then the first of every month, Daniel and Dee also do channel reviews, so be sure to check that out. And then we got the bi-weekly Coffee with the Ducks. If you'd like to get to know more of the StreamYard team behind the scenes, be sure to tune into that every other week, 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Fridays. And then we have with Julie Live Stream Impact Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, where she has awesome guests to learn more about how to have, as it says, the biggest impact with your live streams. And then recently, if you need extra help, Julie and Christian are hosting open office hours in the StreamYard community group every week. So check that out. I think Dana, I don't have the time listed here, but I think Dana can share it in the chat. And of course, happy Memorial Day for the people in the States. Hope you guys have a fun weekend, and thanks for tuning in tonight. I know many people probably are on vacation or something, so it's cool that so many of you are still hanging out. Let's see if we have any questions. Albert says, question, is it possible to trigger a background overlay for past broadcasts? I had some ministers in a previous StreamYard backstage, not in this week's. I'd really like a more visible trigger. You follow that one, Dan? Maybe you could give us a bit more context, yeah. Albert. I'm not sure if I'm fully understand. But to answer the first part of your question, we don't have anything to automate a background overlay appearing on the screen, but I feel like I might be misunderstanding, so do let us know.
Yeah, it's almost like, did somebody join the wrong backstage? And we need something to kind of let them know that it's the wrong one. Is that what you're looking for?
John says, I was a folklore storyteller and just transferred that to StreamYard. That's awesome, John.
Cool.
CLTFC Fan TV says, any chance you'll add social graphics to the banners, tickers, Twitter, Instagram, etc.? One thing we've definitely considered is, I know many people have guests that essentially they want to highlight, their handles, whether it's their @Twitter handle or Instagram. So I don't know that we'd necessarily specifically do it in the banners or the tickers, but there's a good chance they'll maybe give more options around name tags for people to show what their channel is. I'd be curious, CLTFC, why specifically you'd like to have it in the banners versus just using an overlay, or like I said, having it specifically for your guests. Maybe I'm missing it. Let's see what else we have here. Michael says, save the ducks from the moose, something like that.
I love that job. Super funny, but also very needed.
Bobby says, I know I said it before. Thanks again for the wonderful platform for our church. Since using StreamYard, we've streamed worship services, funerals, Bible study, and Sunday school. Thanks so much, Bobby. Of course, that's awesome that you're able to do that. I see lots of, I don't know about beaver detection systems. Specifically was designed for the... It
was for the highway, right? It's to flag you on the highway, like there's a moose 500 meters ahead.
Yeah, it's like a sign that would light up saying, like, hey, there's a moose on the...
Beavers don't cross the highways.
They're not quite as dangerous as moose, I don't think. But.
Yeah, well, also, like, even where I'm from, there's lots of deer, but they're not, like, moose can be thousands of pounds. You don't want to hit a moose.
Yeah.
Vehicles, I don't think, do too well when they hit moose.
Jim says, hey, guys, I'll be hitting live on Tuesday morning, but would like to know if it's possible to share some clip art pictures on the free platform. StreamYard is definitely my go-to when it comes to going live. I catch your shows when I can. Thanks, Jim. That's awesome. So you won't be able to use the overlays, but you could certainly share clip art using the screen share option. So if it's just like, if you're just sort of like cycling through pictures, that's actually a pretty good solution. You could just use the screen share option and share Word or wherever it is that you're hosting those clip art pictures. Okay, let's see here. One thing we did actually want to announce tonight is probably, I know we have a lot of Spanish and Portuguese folks that watch the stream, so hopefully it is welcome news for you guys. So internationalization is now starting to roll out. So we're already testing Spanish and Portuguese with, I think, about 50 or so folks. So if you'd like to be part of that, feel free to message. Probably email's best. If you email contact@streamyard.com with internationalization in the title, we can turn that on for you. It'd be great to get your feedback. And we're adding more and more languages as well. So and it's not just certain parts; it's the entire app, right? So for many people, it'll also help with your guests, because that's one thing we discovered is, although many of the people that are from Brazil or Mexico maybe speak great English, but their guests might not, right? So the whole experience is translated. So the emails, the instructions for your guests, everything will be translated into the language. Do you want to speak anything else to add there, Dan?
Just that we're always trying to make it more accessible in general. So this is like part of a large effort to make our whole site very, very accessible to everyone. So we're pretty not just all over it with language, but really want to make sure that even for people that are visually impaired or physically impaired, that the site works. So excited about this stuff in general, and language was always a huge problem for us. Like that was a big missing piece. So it's nice to finally have that. And big shout out to Jorge, who on our team has been really championing this one for quite a while, and also Chris from our team, who's been working with him a lot on it.
Hey, Elaine, nice to see you here. I know you're in Philly, so pretty late for you, but yeah, nice to see you tuning in. Maria says, it would be nice to allow multiple cameras for showing a face cam as well as an overhead shot. I know there's a workaround by opening a second window. That's true, Maria. You can get around it by essentially joining the broadcast twice, but it's not an amazing solution. And I know especially for people doing art, where it's like they want something where they're drawing something or crafts, where it makes sense to have multiple camera angles. So one thing that is a very good solution is the A10 Mini, which allows you to plug in multiple cameras. It's similar to it's like the video version of an audio mixer, and you can actually use that to essentially have multiple camera angles as your StreamYard camera. But at some point, I know it is an expensive piece of hardware, and we like to make things as easy as possible. At some point, we might add it ourselves, but that is a good solution in the meantime if you have the budget for it. Let's see here. Josh says, any plans for audio meters in this studio? Yeah, we'd like to improve the experience in general for people leveling the sound before they start the stream. I know many people have the issue of maybe, I guess, really, really loud. We do have the ability to adjust things manually, but giving people better feedback inside the studio as far as like what the stream actually sounds like is a priority for us. Jake says, is there an easy way to find background or overlay dimensions so we can customize easier? Yeah, we actually have, I think it's in our help docs now. Maybe Dana can link it for you in the chat, but we have a spreadsheet that shows like the different locations of all the guest windows for if you have multiple guests. But if you just type in overlay dimensions in StreamYard.com/contact in the chat box, I think it will pull up an article for you, Jake, but all of them should be there. And then there is the more basic dimensions in the tooltip section of the studio. Let's see here. Hey, NLTMW, nice to see you here tonight. One question I want to ask you guys while I continue going through these is we haven't talked about YouTube Shorts much. I'm curious what you guys think of YouTube Shorts and if you're using them, if you're using them completely separately from your live streams, if it's connected at all. Just curious your thoughts on them in general. And then a similar thing with stories. Stories have obviously been around a while. Shorts are new, but curious how many of you use Instagram stories or Facebook stories. Or LinkedIn stories, everything has stories now, I guess. LinkedIn stories, YouTube stories, they all have stories. If any of you are using those and if they've been useful for your live streams or otherwise, just curious to know if you use them and how that's going for you. Tony says, drag and drop to reorder overlays and video and the ability to bulk delete and bulk upload, please. Both of those are on the roadmap. Tony. Let's see what else we have here. Michael says, please make it better to hover over a comment outline versus unreadable. I think we might change the transparency at some point. Michael. Bobby says, I use... Sorry,
it's a balance for us just between making it like super discoverable for new users and then also for more advanced users, making sure they can still read it. So trying to find the right balance.
It sounds like Bobby is using the A10 Mini Pro with success, so that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Bobby. Kirk says, just finished day one of my first conference with StreamYard and it went well. I do remote production for clients all the time, but this was my first time doing it for myself. Congrats, Kirk. That's awesome to hear.
Cool.
Thanks for sharing that, Dana. So yeah, Dana's just, I think it was on LinkedIn, so it's probably best just typing it into the help center to the gentleman that asked that question. But yeah, in our support docs, we have a detailed list of all the different dimensions for guest layouts and whatnot. Hector says, request being able to talk to guests in the green room to check their audio before going live with them. Yeah, similar to, so it's sort of connected to the same thing with audio leveling, Hector. It's something we're working on in general, is making it easier to make sure you have a good sense of how everyone sounds before actually going live. So it's something that's being worked through and thought through. SK's Catching Adventures says, question, I'm almost always using my laptop through my phone hotspot while streaming. I want to upgrade to a better camera. Would that put a bigger strain on my hotspot connection? That's a good question. It depends on, you have the option to choose the resolution in StreamYard. So if if you could capture that camera at 720 or 480 or 360, and then it also does downscale dynamically, SK. So if even if you are trying to capture the camera in 1080, if we detect that you're on a poor connection, we'll dynamically scale it down. So shouldn't be a problem for you if you decide to use a higher resolution camera.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem at all. At least like even for the C920, for example, which is just like the common Logitech camera, that compared to like my MacBook built-in camera, the C920 actually uses slightly less CPU, I think, on my computer. I don't know if that applies to all, but yeah, it really shouldn't matter all that much in terms of device usage. The things that'll use the most resources on your computer are going to be screen sharing and green screen. And bandwidth-wise, same thing. Screen sharing, video sharing, those types of things can use a little more bandwidth. So if you're on a hotspot, if it's just you and your camera, that's probably best. If you start to screen share at the same time, that could be a little bit more strain on it. Or if you have a ton of guests, same thing. That's a lot more. And also 1080p. If the whole stream is 1080p, that will be a lot more bandwidth. So I'd probably stick to 720p if you're not already.
Andrew says, any news on new ways to add a co-host besides the sharing of the URL and then typing in the code? It sounds like Joe Ridgely also has a similar question regarding a separate producer during the broadcast. So if you guys caught the event we did a while back, this summer we announced that we will be adding team accounts, which will address both of these. So team accounts will give you the ability to add co-hosts without sharing the code, and then also give you the ability to easily have multiple producers during the broadcast. So don't have a fixed date other than it's coming this summer. But I think you guys will be pretty excited about it. There's a video of it too on our YouTube channel if you want to get a sneak peek of it's a pretty quick video, but it'll give you some sense of how it works. I'm not seeing any feedback on the stories and shorts, so if you guys are using it, I would be super curious, so do let me know. Let's see what else we have here. Tristan says, teams coming this summer. Yes, that's right. Charback says, this is an interesting question. Can we have a few second delay to the stream with a way to prevent something bad going live from a prankster when sharing the join link publicly? Yeah, that's a good question. So on the platforms themselves, you can add a stream delay. So I know for sure on YouTube and Twitch, and I'm guessing it's the same for other platforms, so I'm not actually sure. You can add an additional delay beyond what they have by default. So not an amazing solution, but that at least could give you a couple minutes that if something, if you shared the link, I don't recommend doing that. But if you did, but if you had random people on where you weren't 100% sure what they're going to do, that would give you an additional delay to kill the stream if something happened. But we don't have anything built into StreamYard itself. It is an interesting idea though, and certainly something that's possible to do. It hasn't come up too much, but we appreciate the feedback there.
Yeah, right now you have to actually kill the whole stream to stop it, I assume.
Yeah, you'd have to kill the whole stream. So yeah, not an amazing solution, but better than the alternative probably.
Yep. Yeah, shouldn't be happening too often either, hopefully.
Yeah. Eduardo says, question, how about analytics after the broadcast, number of views on each platform? Yes, we've asked about this a while back, Eduardo. I'd be curious if you have anything to add as far as, we are planning on adding analytics for you guys, and we're just always curious if there's anything beyond the typical stuff that you'd guess as far as just seeing the number of viewers you had over time on each particular platform. If there's anything else that would be useful for you guys to know as far as this word was mentioned at a super high frequency, or anything that we might not immediately guess, but that is something we're working on is analytics. Bridget said, you guys are doing a great job. Loving using StreamYard for my dedicated INXS podcast. The band are loving it too. Love from Australia. Rock and roll, woohoo. Thanks so much, Bridget. That's super awesome to hear. Mario says, hello to you, Mario. Hank says, I'd like to be able to move the settings bar at the bottom, possibly drag it left or right. That's a new suggestion.
I'd be curious why.
Maybe to just get it out of the way. We have considered making pop-out versions of, not specifically the settings, but that would also be possible, but of like the comments and things like that, so that you can have them on a separate monitor or something like that. Joey says, what are new features you have coming soon? I think a couple other people asked that. So a few of them already have been mentioned. So analytics is being worked on. One that is coming very soon that we actually showed you guys a picture of last time, which I think I still have, is, actually I think I removed it. But hotkeys, we showed you some, oh no, here it is. Not the most exciting picture. Like, I think you guys can imagine what hotkeys looks like. But the ability to bind certain actions to keys on your keyboard is also coming soon, along with a whole host of of other things. Our team is a lot bigger now. Like our entire, how big is our engineering team now, Dan? Is it
12.
12 folks? So yeah, a lot of different things happening in parallel. So excited for you guys to see what we have coming over the next few weeks. Zipporah says, will there be an option to move our brand logo to the left side or bottom of the page versus always at the top right? So we do like keeping it's simple for new folks, Zipporah. So right now what we suggest if you do want to move it is to just use an overlay. Like a transparent overlay will essentially allow you to put the logo wherever you like. So no current plans to change how the logo works, but appreciate the feedback, and we're always open to suggestions. Right now, hopefully the overlay is a good solution for you. Eileen says, I like using stories, but I can't say for sure that they convert. I never have the time to look at the analytics. Lol, YouTube Shorts are way too unpredictable at the moment. Fair enough.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't looked too deeply at YouTube Shorts myself. I've been impressed with how, more from like a consumer perspective, is like how well YouTube has surfaced them and how relevant they are to me as far as like of the YouTube channels I like, what shorts are going to be relevant to me. I have actually enjoyed watching them.
Yep.
Christian says yes, exploring shorts.
Definitely in the early stages.
For sure. The J Vlog says, never underestimate the power of shorts. I'm looking for an answer. I don't need a 10-minute explanation. Keep the answer to 2 minutes or so. Yeah, short form content definitely has a place, and it can be nice. Charbax has lots of interesting technical questions. How many people are using StreamYard right now? How do you have enough bandwidth? So StreamYard is fully cloud-based. It's been a while. We used to talk about it more at the early days, but that's one cool thing about StreamYard is it's not, none of the processing is happening on your own, or the majority of the processing is not happening on your own computer. It's in the cloud. So we have thousands and thousands of servers that are ingesting those streams, mixing them, and then sending it out. So your computer doesn't have to deal with the multi-streaming and mixing and all of that stuff. As far as how we have enough bandwidth, things like GCP and AWS and Azure, they've got giant fiber pipes all over the world, right? So bandwidth is not really a concern. As far as how many people are using StreamYard right now, like at this particular moment, we can find out if we looked at it. I think on average, we generally have the total number of active broadcasters we have is in the hundreds of thousands on a monthly basis at any given time. In the thousands that are actually live at one time. Marcello says, yes, shorts on YouTube rocks. Cool. Tim Dennis. Yeah, me too. Tim Dennis says, better audio is my number one wish for StreamYard. I'd be curious, Tim, what kind of stuff you'd need for better audio as far as like, would it have to be recorded locally? Is that the type of thing you're referring to? Would it need to be a higher bit rate? Curious what your needs are there. Like right now, Dan, if you have echo cancellation off and whatnot, what's the quality that we record?
It should be pretty good. Yeah, the quality should be pretty good right now. If echo cancellation is off and your internet is really solid. So yeah, would same in Geige. I'd be curious what specific things you're looking for audio wise. Is it just features around audio? Is it? Yeah, let us know.
Cool. Mario says, when did you find StreamYard? So we launched StreamYard July 13th. It was Friday the 13th. Kind of funny. Friday the 13th of 2018. Flew by. It feels like, just yesterday, like the first town hall that I think Eileen was actually watching, which was a long time ago. Let's see what else we have here. We did have a couple other questions for tonight, so while I continue going through your guys's, let's, I guess we should probably go ahead and do the giveaway in a second here, but maybe something to think about while we do the giveaway. I was curious to get your guys' thoughts on. So, lots of focus on engagement during the stream as far as like showing comments on screen and taking submissions from users. But I'm curious how many of you do stuff before the broadcast. Like I know it's pretty common on YouTube for a YouTuber to do like an email bag or a mail bag where essentially they just like have their subscribers, have their audience send in questions and stuff that they address during a live stream or a video that they do. Curious how many of you incorporate that into your live streams. Is it essentially entirely live, or you do some stuff beforehand as far as like sending out a form or a survey or having people email you? I'm just curious if any of you are incorporating that into your broadcasts.
Good question.
I'd be super curious to know. So let's go ahead and share the screen here. So most, as you can see from the entries, most of you are already familiar with this. So every week we do a giveaway. So today we'll be giving away StreamYard pillow and the StreamYard plush duck. I'll show a picture of the duck. You can see the pillow in Dan's background. This is the Puddles duck. But if you just type in hashtag the yard, you'll be eligible to win. We'll give you guys 30 seconds or so to get those in. I'll continue going through these. It's gonna be hard to find the the answers with all the hashtag the yards to work to the submissions question, but hopefully I'll find some. Charback says shorts will make sense once viewers contribute short highlights and people being able to watch those if they don't have time to watch the whole video. Cool. Dr. Karen Jackson says does it entirely live. Thanks for sharing that. It's good to know.
Cool.
Ariel says, when will the volume adjustments be in final version, no beta? Do we still have a beta symbol for?
We do, yeah. I'd be curious if you're running any issues with it or not. It should be essentially good now, but I think there is still like one or two small features we want to add on there. But if you don't mind, just letting us know, are you having any issues or is it working quite well for you? But it should be stable.
Thanks for that, Tristan. But yeah, just hashtag the yard. Probably have given it. I think it's steady on.
It's pretty stable here. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do the draw.
Cool. Good luck, everyone. Waiting to see if we ever have someone who's already won before.
Anthony, congrats! Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Dana will reach out to you to get your information and send you a StreamYard duck and a StreamYard pillow. Congratulations!
Congrats!
Yeah, I enjoy it. JVlog says both live and behind the scenes, before and after, pre-stream checks and post-stream thought on quality, etc. I assume that's for the audience submissions. Cool. Zipporah says live with some features on pre-recorded videos during the program sometimes. That's cool. So maybe you get like viewers to submit clips that you feature. That's awesome. Let's see if we have any final ones here. Tristan says, question, would you ever consider recording all cameras and the one pushed out too? Could be great for a different re-edit post-event. Yes, we definitely would, Tristan. I know for people doing repurposing or high-quality recordings that want access to each individual feed, yeah, it's definitely something that we are considering. Tony says, need to be able to pin and lock comments in the admin so we can find them easily during the show. Definitely agree, Tony, and that is actually one that's on the list and coming relatively soon. So looks like we are out of time here. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with. Can't talk. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. This was episode 125 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We'll see you guys next week at the same time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
See you next week, everyone.